I mean, if the villain's hot. He wasn't hot, he was a spring! This is the video where I prove to you that I am weird. Are y'all ready for this? Y'all ain't ready for this. I'm about to expose to you how odd I was as a child. I was an odd child. I'm gonna just put that out there. I was an only child growing up. I'm still an only child. All my fellow only childs out there, you know what it's like growing up, maybe like having to play by yourself, entertain yourself. We're weird. We're weird. And I think this list kind of proves it. So let's delve back in time. This list actually took me quite a while to come up with because I feel like I forgot all my sort of weird crushes and everything that I had over the years. They've completely kind of gone from my mind. There's some that did stick with me, who I still love, but others it's like it's gone. It's completely gone. So it took me a while to kind of come up with this list, and I wanted to really narrow in on like the weird ones. I thought the ones that maybe not everybody else would necessarily like or share. So let's dive into this list. So I'm gonna start with a nice little easy one, okay? This is a one I feel like other people might reciprocate, and it is Wilbur Robinson from Meet the Robinsons. Meet the Robinsons was one of my favorite movies. Like, I loved it when it came out. I was watching it all the time. I loved it so much. I loved the time travel, going into the future. I just loved it. I loved all the characters. It was the best, and I had the biggest crush on Wilbur Robinson. I just loved him so much. Anybody else? I feel like that's a good one to start off with though, because I thought I'll start off with something that maybe other people might share that's actually a young boy when I was a young girl. So that's a nice one to kick off with. Now, these honestly. So next up, one of my first crushes that I ever remember. This is definitely like one of my first, definitely. Oh my god, this is so weird. Does anybody else have this? Oh. And it is Scar from The Lion King. I don't even know, I have no words for that one, to be perfectly honest. Like, I remember, I love The Lion King. The Lion King is one of my favourite movies of all time. It's definitely one of my favourite Disney movies. I love the soundtrack. I just love everything about it. And obviously, like, Mufasa's death, spoiler, is one of the most traumatic things that's ever happened to me in my life. Reliving that and watching it for the first time, and I would cry every single time. I'm not heartless. I'm not completely heartless. I do still cry at that scene. However, I had a crush on Scar. I remember when the second movie came out and everybody had a crush on Kovu, the one that kind of looked like him, but not me. Not me. I was rooting for. I wasn't even rooting for Scar. That's the worst thing. I wasn't actually rooting for him. I acknowledged him as the bad guy, as the villain. I didn't want him to win or anything. I loved him. I loved him. Why? I have absolutely no clue. But I loved him! And I still love him. I love him. I love him. This is definitely the video where I expose myself as a weirdo. Number 3 now. Number 3. Okay, I feel like this one's not so bad. I don't know! Captain Hook from Peter Pan. To be perfectly honest, I enjoy both. I enjoyed the animated Captain Hook. The first one I ever actually saw. I never actually saw the first Peter Pan, the cartoon. I saw the sequel that they did, the Return to Neverland. I fell in love with him then, and then I got to watch the first one for the first time, and I loved him still. I still loved him. I still love him. And then I remember, I think it was, I don't know when it was. I must have just been like, I just remember being on the computer as a child, and you used to just, I feel like I used to just sit and like Google. There must have been like no websites to play on or something, because I would sit on Google and go through like Google images, and I remember doing it with my cousin. It's like, why was that my childhood? Just sitting on like Google, going through Google images. And what was I even like typing in to search for stuff? I don't know what I must have been typing in, but I remember coming across an image of Jason Isaacs as Captain Hook in that Peter Pan movie from like 2003, and I think I then ended up on like YouTube and I saw like fan videos that people had made, because fan videos were in their infancy back then, back when YouTube was still in its infancy. And I just remember stumbling across these clips and I was like, oh, you manu boo. And then I remember I bought the DVD, I ordered it online for like £3. I got it, I watched it, and everybody else was crushing on Peter Pan. Not me. Not me. I was in love with Captain Hook. And again, I didn't necessarily want him to win. I just loved him. I loved him. So I love both of them. I love the animated and I love the live action version with Jason Isaacs. I was in love. I was in love. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with him. Moving swiftly on. Oh no, this is a bit weird. This is weird. Okay, number 4 is Waluigi from the Mario world, from like the Super Mario world, or just from like the world of Mario. I don't know why. I have a crush, had a crush, I don't know if I still do, on this. What? Maybe it's because he's purple and purple is my favorite colour. That's the only reason I can think of, because it's like, why? I mean, I like Luigi as well. I mean, I was never like Team Mario. I was always kind of like a Luigi fan and that. But like, why? Why was I so weird? Why? I don't even have any words for this one, to be honest. He's not even in it an awful lot. Like, I feel like some of the games have like Wario, but never Waluigi. But I don't know. He was in the Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games. That's the game I had, and he was in it, and I used to play as him all the time because I loved him. But that's just, it's another one of those weird ones. It's like, I think what it was, I must have been like watching videos on YouTube again from like Mario and stuff, and Waluigi was in it, and I was like, who is this purple daddy? Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. So weird. Honestly, but I saw that like fan videos with him in it, and or just like little videos that people had made, and I was like, dang. It must have been because he was purple. That was the only reason I could think of, because he ain't even that good looking. Some of these I can get away with, some of these I can't get away with, because there's just no excuse for it. Okay, number 5. I feel like this one isn't too bad. It's still bad. It's a bit of bestiality. But it could be worse. And that is the lovely Puss in Boots from Shrek. No. It sounds so weird when you say it out loud. But yeah, I had a crush on Puss in Boots from Shrek 2. I love Shrek 2. I saw Shrek 2 before I saw the first Shrek movie. Shrek 2 is probably my favourite. The first one is really good though, but I think like the second one, just Puss in Boots, and that's probably the main reason why. But like even the Fairy Godmother and Prince Charming and everything, and the King and the Queen and Far Far Away, it's great. I really love the second movie. The third movie was okay, but the fourth movie, let's not even talk about that. But oh my god. But I think it's probably because it's Antonio Banderas. That's probably why. That's my excuse. Puss in Boots. I love him. I loved him. You need to bear in mind that these movies are from like the early 2000s, or when I discovered them would be in like the kind of early 2000s. So I would have been what? So if we say 2005, I would have been, what's that, 15 years ago? I would have been, I can't do math. Was I 8? No. Was I? Was I 8? I was 8. That makes it a little bit better. But I feel like when you're under the age of 10, you make dumb choices. You fall in love easily. Okay, next. Number 6. Did any of you ever watch that Magic Roundabout movie? I mean, I know the Magic Roundabout used to be a TV show, but I never ever saw it. I think they actually did a remake when I was older, and I maybe did see that. But they made a movie of the Magic Roundabout a few years ago. A good few years ago. And I was obsessed with it. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I watched it all the time. It was one of those movies that I would finish watching it and then I would start it again and rewatch it. I'm not sure if you know the characters from the Magic Roundabout, but there was Dylan, the rabbit, Ermintrude, the cow, Brian, the snail, Dougal, the dog. I think that was the main ones. And then obviously there was Florence, which was the little girl. And then there's Zebedee, the little red springy guy. And the antagonist of this movie was a little blue spring called Seabot. Can you guess which one I had a crush on? Can you guess which one I had a crush on? I guess you could say I had a thing for bad guys. The bad guys. Even as a child, I always loved the villain. I loved the villain. It's something that stuck with me growing up. You know, I might make another one of these, like an updated version of these, to let you know all my sort of crushes at present. I don't have an awful lot. No, I still do. But I feel like there's some. I mean, if the villain's hot. He wasn't hot. He was a spring. He was a little blue spring. What? Oh, okay. Moving on from that one. That's a weird one. I don't know why. I don't know what it was. Why I loved him, I don't know. But I did. I was in love with the bad guy of the Magic Roundabout, who's a little blue spring called Seabot. Oh god. Next up, we have a bit of he wasn't the main antagonist, but he started off as the antagonist, or one of the antagonists of like the movie, but then he gradually became a good guy. We love a villain to hero story. And that is Diego from Ice Age. You know, the saber-toothed tiger. I had a crush on him. Yep. Moving swiftly on. Did you ever play those video games as a child? The Spyro games? This is like the old school Spyro, like, what were they originally? Like, I think the first one I ever had was Enter the Dragonfly. Then there was Spyro, A Hero's Tale. And then I don't know what came after that. But I first got Enter the Dragonfly. I found it quite difficult. I really struggled with that. Probably because I was quite young when I got it. But I was terrible at video games, to be perfectly honest. Then at some point in my life, I got Spyro, A Hero's Tale. Now, you may be wondering, which of the characters I fell in love with from this game. You might think it's Spyro himself because he's purple. We've all established that I like purple. You might think it was Hunter, the little cheetah guy, but you would be mistaken. You might even think it was Moneybags, that guy who had all the coin. But once again, I found myself crushing on the villain of the story, and that was Red, the dragon. What a daddy. What even was, what? The graphics are bad. I don't even know why. He was barely even in the game. And I struggled to beat him in the finale. Not because I didn't want to, I genuinely could not get past it. I couldn't defeat him. Dear God, I loved him. Do I leave the weirdest one for last? Yeah, I maybe will. So next up is one that I can't actually remember if I actually had a crush on him or not. I definitely feel like he was one of my favourite characters. I think I did have a bit of a crush. Like the child equivalent of a crush. It's not really a proper crush, but it sort of is. I don't know. Anyway, don't judge me for this one. Don't judge me. So for a while, I had an obsession with the SpongeBob movie. The one where David Hasselhoff appeared. I loved that movie. It was another one of those movies where I would watch it and then the minute it was finished I would just restart it again because I just loved it. I loved that. I loved the little songs that I'm a goofy goober, yeah. And that one with Patrick and SpongeBob when Mindy the mermaid gives them mustaches and they're singing, now that we're men we can do anything, now that we're men. I don't know the words. Oh, anyway, so I think it was this movie, but also the TV show. I watched it as well, but definitely this movie was what kind of ignited my love, my crush on Squidward. And moving on to the last one, and quite possibly the weirdest. I mean, to be perfectly honest, they're all pretty weird. Most of them. Most of them aren't even human. But this one, this is worse. This is neither man nor animal, but a machine. Oh no. Oh, not even a machine. It's not even like it's a robot. Oh no. Oh god. Oh, I'm actually gonna say this out loud. I can't say this out loud. This is embarrassing. Okay, so get it together. My last crush that I definitely remember having. It's not a man, it's not an animal, it's not even a dragon. Did any of you watch those Scooby-Doo movies that they did, the animated ones, from the sort of like, were they from the 90s and the kind of 2000s? I remember they did like Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. I loved that one. Then there was Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invasion. I loved that one too. My favourite was Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, which is where they basically go into a computer. I don't know how it works. I don't understand the I don't understand how that could possibly work, but they go into a computer basically, into this guy's program to try and like get rid of a virus that has been implanted, and they basically have to like beat the game. I had a crush on a character in this movie, and it wasn't Fred, it wasn't Velma, it wasn't Daphne, it wasn't Shaggy, it wasn't even Scooby-Doo. It was the virus. This man, it's not a man, this thing was like a lightning bolt. It was all like, it was like a lightning bolt, and I had a crush on it. I had a crush on a virus. I had a crush on a virus. I'll let myself out. I had a crush on a virus. This little lightning bolt thing. A crush on that. It's a thing. It's an it. I had a crush on it. I don't even know what it was. If it was the boys. Just because it was the villain. I'll never know. It's so weird. So thank you so much for watching this random video that I just decided to do because I have a lot of weird crushes as a child. I think I might make another video on like some of the more normal crushes that I had growing up, you know, like all the different boys that I was crushing on, but I mean that's probably not as entertaining. Even more so like my crushes of today. I do have, actually, I have a bonus crush that I had that I feel like I was gonna include in this video, but I decided not to because I felt like it maybe wasn't as odd as I thought it was. But I had a crush on the Joker from The Dark Knight, and that movie came out in like 2008, and in 2008 I was 10. I was 10 or 11. I was 10 or 11 when that movie came out, and I probably saw it. I didn't see it at the cinema. I don't think I'd be old enough. I think it was a 12. But I remember watching it when it came on TV, like it came on the movie channel, and I watched it, and I watched it a lot, and I feel like I was scared by it. I was scared by the movie and the violence, and when Harvey lost half his face and stuff like that. I was scared by this movie, but I watched it and I fell in love with Heath Ledger's Joker, and I've been in love with the Joker ever since. But I felt like that wasn't really a weird enough one to include, although the fact that I was 11 years old crushing on this terrifying terrorist of a clown. But that's one that stuck with me. I mean, most of these, some of these have actually stuck with me. No, they haven't. I mean, yeah, my love for Captain Hook, maybe. That was my toe cracking. My love for Captain Hook, maybe, is probably like one of the only ones that's actually stuck with me because, like, Scar, well, I sort of moved on from that. But all the rest, I feel like, yeah, I did move on from them. I hope. So I will leave it there. I will leave it at that. Those are my weird, very weird crushes that I had throughout the years as a child. Please don't judge me. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I shall see you in my next one, whatever that may be. And hopefully you don't think I'm too weird. Fucking virus though, man. What the actual